nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
I'm Brett Cooper. I'm doing a little bit of a throwback today. It's really not a throwback, it's just from last week, but this story unfolded while I was out of town. I was in Miami with Ben, and I was bummed to miss it, but there are some new updates, so now I can validate myself in bringing this story back up and talking about it with you guys. But today we're going to talk about City Bike Karen, as this person has not so lovingly been named. Before we get into this story, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or off the clock episode. So last week, if you have not heard this story, a pregnant physician's assistant named Sarah, a lot of people were saying that she was a nurse, but I think it's now come out that she's actually a PA. I'm going to go with that, but either way, her name is Sarah. She was getting off a 12-hour shift at the hospital, and she went to the City Bike station that is nearby her hospital in New York City. She was going to get a bike to take home, and in doing so, she got into a bit of an altercation with a group of young black men who were standing by the City Bike station. And I'm emphasizing their race because obviously it's 2023, so everybody online turned this into a racial issue.
Help me! Please help me!
Not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike. It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help!
You're not getting
Get
the
off.
bike.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
not. No,
Why you took his phone? You
We're
took his
not gonna
phone.
beat it.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help.
She just said it's my bike. She's just crying.
You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
I got
It's
you on
my
video.
bike.
So there is a lot to unpack here. It went viral last week, and I think it now has like 15 million views, I think the original poster. And that guy took the video, he put it online, and there's just a lot going on. So obviously this was an intense situation, and everybody on Twitter lost their shit and got very involved. People were pointing fingers with very little evidence and very little backstory and picking sides based on race. They were saying that this woman was using her like white crocodile tears to villainize these men. And then other people were saying like, this just goes to show how awful, these black youths are in, New York City, all this. It was just ridiculous.
It was all bullshit.
Now, a couple days later, Greg Price did a great TikTok breaking it down and explaining what happened next because she got lawyers involved. Something happened with her job. I'm going to let him take it away because there's a lot to unpack and I want to move on to the next part of the story.
Here we have yet another tale of systemic racism in America, as well as another tale about the evils of the social media mob. Over the weekend, a video went viral of a woman on a bike share in New York City. The video shows her crying as 5 black dudes tell her that it's not her bike and try to take it from her. Based on that alone, the internet concluded that she's a racist. Because every time a white woman cries as 5 black guys are around her, that's apparently racism.
I wanted to stop it right there because it is such BS. I just wanted to show the video as a refresher because this video didn't age well. First of all, they are always trying to discredit black people when we say things as if we haven't been in this country for centuries and understand how they act and the words they use. Now, him being disingenuous, saying that she was on a ride share, that she was going to get the bike, and there were 5 black men, they were teenagers, they were young teens, were surrounding her. First of all, when you use that type of language, you know what you're implying. We're not going to play those types of games. Basically, they were not surrounding her while she tried to take a bike. These young teens rode the bikes from one area to that area. So basically, she thought they were done with them, but until you lock that bike up and then walk away, it is still yours to use. And she's screaming, help me. What the F is she screaming, help me for, if she's not trying to elicit that something is going on with her? They're talking to her saying, you're not getting this bike because we're not done with it. And she feels like she is a colorless woman and they need to listen to her and acquiesce to her request. So she started to do the bullshit of screaming as if somebody is attacking her, and somebody did walk up as if she was in danger or they were doing something. She knew what she was doing. It's no different than the colorless woman who was in the park saying that she was going to call the police to get a reaction and it was threatening his life because he told her to put the dog on the leash. And she, like I said, they don't like being rebuked, corrected, or told what to do. So then she was saying that she's going to have the police, and the police is going to come and shoot the black guy because she was mad on a Tuesday for being corrected and informed to do what she was supposed to do in the park in the first place. It's no different. They were on the bike. They weren't done with the bike. They were not releasing the bike. They told her that. She got mad. She wanted to take the bike anyway. no means no. And they were not surrounding her. She walked up to them. She wanted to use the bike, and they said no.
It turns out that this woman, whose name is Sarah Cumry, bought the bike herself, and that these guys were trying to steal it from her. Her lawyer gave the receipt for the bike to the New York Post, and the number on the receipt matches up to the number on the bike shown in the video.
We now have her receipts. We know that she paid for the bike. And in the video, her coworker comes up and is saying like, hey guys, let's just move on. She can go to a different bike. Let's just redock the bike. You're going to pull it out. And the guy was going, no, it's on my account right now. Like I took it out. It's like, no, you didn't.
Nope.
So we know that for sure. Remember that. It was not on his account at that time.
Woman is 6 months pregnant, had just finished a 12-hour shift at the hospital she worked at, and had got on this bike when these 5 guys came up to her and tried to take it from her. And she even lost her job because of it. She also had her address posted on Twitter, and news outlets smeared her as a Karen, including this one that compared her to the woman who got Emmett Till lynched. She and her husband also had to flee their home in New York City due to all of the death threats that they were getting. There's also a verified GoFundMe being organized by her uncle, and I will post the link to it in the comments.
And that GoFundMe now has over $120,000 worth of donations, so obviously people were rallying behind her, but this all happened very quickly.
Okay, so I'm going to end it right there. I don't need to hear the rest of the 13 minutes of this BS. That's all I wanted to get into. I'll link the video that I did explaining about the rideshare and everything. But basically what they put out there was a lie. They never retracted this video at the Daily Wire. They never corrected any of this information at the Daily Wire. Just like TYT had Dr. Rashad Ritchie apologize for putting out the information about her being a Karen and everything. And then you noticed, who was the chick? I can never remember her freaking name. You know, the annoying one that is near Sync, whatever her name is. But then she came out with this whole diatribe of, oh, you know, Karen we shouldn't be called Karen, and it's mean, even though she engaged in it. And I engaged in it, and it's just not right, and all that BS, so she can, you know, let everybody know she's on the right. And she's been on the right. She's just been spewing the liberal BS for a paycheck. But it comes out that that's not what happened. She did not rent that bike. Those young men rented those bikes, rode it to that area, and docked it. And there was a reason why, and I put it in my previous video of why they did that. It was a reason, it was a plan, okay? They were not done with those bikes. So what she tried to do, when you saw in the video, she snatched that young man's phone. You see how aggressive she got? So basically what she did was she tried to swipe her little, however they get the bike, and then he said no, and put it back in. He redocked it. He said, no, you're not taking this bike. It's my bike. I'm riding this bike back to where I came from. And him and his sister ended up putting the receipt to show that he ended up renting that bike, where he rode it from, riding it there to that area, and why he wanted to ride it back. And also, I showed the membership and the perks that you get and the free stuff. I'm trying to give a hint. Free stuff that you get. That's why he wasn't giving up the bike. And she should have just, he said no, she should have turned around and got another bike or went on about her day. So what she was doing was racist. What she was doing was anti-black. And what she was doing was being a Karen. I really wish Dr. Rashad Ritchie did not put out that statement, but I know it was TYT. And the Daily Wire cannot be trusted because they definitely did not correct this after we got the young man's receipt of first renting the bike and riding it there to begin with. So everybody here is liars. They're trying to make her out to be a victim. Nobody cares that she was pregnant. Nobody cares that she worked a shift. She decided to be a PA. Oh, well. You don't get to just walk up to someone and take something from them. If somebody tells you no, you don't get to rage out and then have your way. That is so juvenile for a grown woman who's pregnant with a child. And her GoFundMe, yeah, I'm kind of happy that they raised over $100,000, because with all of the rah-rah BS that she was talking about, how she got a lawyer and she wanted people to stop calling her a Karen and she was in the right and she gave her receipts. You haven't heard anything else about this. She didn't sue anybody. She didn't go after a network. She couldn't, because she was proved to be the liar and the racist that she is. When the boy, he presented his receipts. And then she took that GoFundMe money and ran off. Whoever was pretending to be her lawyer, because the way he was talking at the time, there's no way he was a lawyer. That had to be the uncle or a family member of hers pretending to be an attorney. Or He's one of those attorneys that run up behind people who had a fender bender and say they're going to get this big check, probably. Because after that GoFundMe cleared, she took all those racist money, the ones who was, because there was somebody in my comment section of the original video, and I put the comments up saying, oh, we raised over $100,000 for her. What have you raised for the young man? Because the young man also had a GoFundMe, and he was getting money as well for his GoFundMe. But now all of these racists have egg on their face for someone who was supposed to be fighting against the word Karen that they say is a racial slur. How is that racist? No, it's telling you about your behavior. You're a Karen. And she did nothing. She didn't sue anybody. She didn't do any more interviews. You didn't hear anything else. People are trying, oh, she fled from death. Everybody is always bringing up a threat. You can't believe these people when they say they're threatened. They think somebody calling them a mean name is racism. They can't even define what woke is. But you want to believe them about a death threat? Yeah, right. That never happened. But I have been asking for the longest, where is she? Has anybody heard anything about her? Anybody know where she is? Anybody heard of a lawsuit? Because nobody apologized to those black teens besmirching their name, slandering them. I mean, I cannot find anything about a lawsuit regarding this flaming piece of trash, Sarah Comrie, aka City Bike Karen, that basically had TYT in a chokehold. And I think she raised over $120,000 in her GoFundMe from a bunch of racist POSs and ran. And I love to hear this. I just love this. All the slander and defaming of the black teens that did nothing to this lying POS. This Karen should not be a nurse. She should not be able to be practicing in a hospital around people. She is not to be trusted. She's a racist. And I hope she gets what she deserves. Let me know if you have heard anything about her. Because as soon as she got the money, she disappeared like magic. I'll see you in the next one.